Judgment Day. It's come for the accused in the Regiment Capital scandal. 3 people have been investigated for money laundering, theft and corruption. Let's talk about this with Heidi Giokos, who is following developments for us. Good morning, Heidi. So the NPA is going for more people who are involved in state capture. Where does Regiment Capital
Yes, indeed, Jane. So Regiment Capital was a transaction advisor for Transnet in 2015-2016, but it seems as though they had their hand very far in the cookie jar because they have been accused of money laundering, corruption and fraud, specifically with the work that they supposedly did for Transnet. So the NPA has moved in to seize the assets and the property of Regiment Capital, specifically for these 3 individuals that were heavily involved in these transactions that took place between Transnet and Regiment Capital. So it seems as though the NPA is saying that they want to seize the assets of these individuals, their families, but specifically Regiment Capital property, because they want to make sure that no assets are moved over. Yesterday we saw with Angelo Grizzi that it's quite common for assets or money to be moved over to an offshore account. So the NPA is of course trying to avoid that and to make sure that they seize this property. We know in November there was another application by the NPA, specifically the investigating directorate, to seize the assets. And again, today we possibly going to be seeing Judgement to seize about 1.1 billion of assets, specifically with Regiment Capital.
Good. Tell us about the relationship, more of it, between Regiment Capital and Transnet.
Yes, so they were specifically a transaction advisor, but it appears as though Regiment Capital used Transnet specifically as a transaction advisor, or they played the role as a transaction advisor to take money from SOE. So we know they took millions of rands from Transnet and they moved it over into a Gupta-owned company. So the links here are very close between Transnet, Regiment Capitals and the Guptas back in 2015-2016, but the specific role was them being a transaction advisor, and it seems as though they were trying to move money. And the NPA has found that they specifically, knowingly, were part of money laundering. So they were moving money where they weren't supposed to, and basically they weren't doing a job as a transaction advisor. So this is clear state capture, and the NPA in their affidavit says that this is why they're trying to seize assets, because they have clear evidence that there was money laundering, corruption and fraud.
Oh, NPA is busy at the moment, isn't it?
Very busy, yes.
What can we expect in court today?
So we actually just got word from the investigating directorate that the judge again is intending to postpone the ruling by a week. About a month ago, again, there was a further postponement, so it seems as though the judge wants to postpone again by a week, and we understand that she will give an indication later on as to why exactly she wants to postpone the judgment. But we understand it is, of course, a restraint order against seizing the assets of 1.1 billion, so the judge obviously has a reason as to why she wants to postpone again. We'll get further clarity at about 10 o'clock this morning.